Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Inside of My Head Stone Age edition. I should take my tool and put it on the table, because now we're gonna take a oh my god, it's already starting. Now we're gonna talk about the Stone Age. There should be some oh no, shit, man. There should be some it's too bad. There should be some title music now. Well, I missed the moment. I know I fucked it up in a time I shouldn't have fucked it up. Well, I'm not totally sure what the specific topic of today shall be, but if I know myself right, I cannot stop myself from talking, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna talk about something. But I kinda like to talk about the movement of people that probably got to nowhere. I mean, like, literally how we move our body and how that changed throughout the Stone Age and throughout the evolution to becoming human. Like, now I have been talking about, well, the Stone Age generally, a little overview, 1.5 hours. That could be a full documentary about the Stone Age, and I call that an overview. But to be honest, I didn't really talk that much in that video. Or I did, but not about the Stone Age, about a lot of other things, like I'm doing right now. But I bet you can see a video in 15 minutes and you will probably get more facts than I put out in the 1.5 hour overview about the Stone Age. It was very subtle what I dig into in the Stone Age, but I used a lot of time to do it. But then I talked about the tools of the Stone Age and about the foods. I actually have food again. I'm eating all the time. The last video I recorded today, which was about the food of the Stone Age, was actually when I was eating lunch, and now I'm eating kind of dinner and doing another video, because I have no time to film videos if I don't do it when I'm eating, and I have no time to eat if I don't do it when I'm filming videos, apparently. So I was thinking, what did I miss about the Stone Age in the first 3 videos? I kind of thought that I had been about the most important things about the Stone Age, and I was kind of thinking that there's no more to talk about the Stone Age. But then I was just dreaming back into the Stone Age, and I was seeing myself jumping around like an ape instead of walking like a human, and then that thing hit me that I have not been talking about how we moved and how we changed to the way we use our body today, and I actually find that quite interesting too. And I really like to play around with the thoughts about how we moved in the start of the Stone Age. It was, again, around 9 million years ago. I use that term a lot, and that is because 9 million years ago the first human-like ape species, you can call it, appeared. And I still don't remember the name, and I have not been thinking about googling it, so you must just take my word for it that there was an ape-like, human-like, something in between, more ape, very ape-like actually, a humanid starting to live around 9 million years ago. And the thing about that species was, it was the first one to like crawl down from the trees just a little bit and move around more freely, a little bit at least. So it didn't really work on 2 legs because it still used a lot of time in the trees, and also you can just walk down from a tree and not even walk, crawl down from a tree and then walk on 2 legs. You have to evolve to a species that can walk on 2 legs. However, apes kind of have always been able to walk on 2 legs. Like most of the apes we have today, like in zoo and stuff. I'm not talking about the humans. They are actually able to walk on 2 legs, but for a very short amount of time, or maybe only standing still. So they've kind of always been able to stand on 2 legs and walk on 2 legs, but it just didn't feel comfortable. Comfortable to us to do. Comfortable. You can say it in a lot of ways, and I fuck them up all of them. I have a word you can pronounce in 3 different ways and be right no matter what, and I fucked every single way up, so I must pronounce it wrong in every single possible way you could pronounce it right. Amazing. However, yes, we better like walking on 4 legs, or some ancestor ape better like walking on 4 legs, if you can call it that. And their arms was longer than their legs because they were swinging a lot around, and not in vines for scientific reasons, but in branches. I think you can call them that before they break off, right? A stick is a broken branch. Are we clear on that? So a branch is still attached to the tree, right? Let's just say that. You know what I mean, no matter what. And on the wood cord, like two, when they're crawling, they have a lot of the weight in their arms. So naturally, what happens? The arm gets stretched, but the legs was mostly used to stand on with it, so they more get squeezed. Where today we don't really use our arms to that much, kind of when we pick up stuff, but mostly lightweight stuff, not our own body weight. And we also pick it up in more short terms and to take it towards us, so we don't really need long arms in that regard. However, the legs are getting longer, and that's into now I'm jumping too much around already. I'm already jumping to today and why we have long legs. So let me keep that as a secret for now. We get down there. I really feel like standing up for this because I'm talking about how apes are standing, and it's not a good idea to do it in the bed, but I could also do it on the floor. I don't really want to change the camera angle right now, but it's also too springy at bottom. Bottom ground surface. It's too springy a surface I'm standing on right now. So it's even hard to keep the balance, harder than on the floor. But yeah, this was kind of a poster an ape could have, like this, legs, but also more like this. There's like 2. You can have the arms on the outside, you'll be staying like this, and most they used their like middle knuckles. Not so much this, not if you have to be hardcore in the gym, but more like this part of the hands they used to stand on. And that actually makes sense for you if you try to get down on the floor and walk around a lot like this. I'm so stupid, I have actually done that a lot, like too much. When you walk around a lot like this, you find it annoying to have your hands flat on the surface, because first your arms are not long enough, so they will get too close to the ground and it will be hard to walk around and keep the balance good. And also if you do it on the fingertips, then you will get too tired in the fingertips. Actually on these, it is a hard surface and it will hurt, but you will not get tired so much. So imagine when you don't get tired, you can do it for a long period of time. If you do that every single day, your fingers will get hardened and they will not hurt so much. So it makes sense that the apes around that use these parts of the fingers to keep their weight down. And then there's the other way where you have your arms in between. That can be used for other things. But I really want to do like this. I want to bounce around and sit like this. And then you can imagine that they try like to lift their arms and do stuff when you sit here. So they're actually standing on two legs, but not quite, not like upright, but like with the legs bent over like this. And you actually have a pretty good balance if you try to. Like the first time you do this, you probably fall, but you will easily get a very good balance if you train it a little bit. And then you can imagine the first time the ape are like standing up, and it already feels quite unbalanced. When you get used to that downward sitting, then you feel unbalanced when you're standing up. And like the first time, just the second you stand up, you feel unbalanced. Of course, if I try to relax a bit, I already now stand like a normal human person and it feels normal to me. But when you just do it, you try to not do it fully, but do it a little bit bent. And when you have sit that for a long time, it actually feels quite unbalanced to do this. And you can imagine that it was when you're not used to the stretched legs. Posture, you can call it. Then you can imagine it's being really hard to stand on two legs. It will be hard to hold the balance, because what do I do when I sit like this and I hard keeping the balance? Then I use my arms like this and just bounce around until I get the balance point right. But when you're staying upright, you cannot really do that unless you have a tree or the wall like this. I was actually about to fall there, so I actually used the wall for real. So yeah, you can do it. But it's a lot scarier when you are so high up, so it feels more scary to stand on two legs. So it probably takes some time to get used to it. I'll probably like lose the kind of bent legs walking a little bit before they try to stand up and really get used to that. So I can really imagine being an ape that tries to walk on two legs and try it for the first time. I can imagine why you're trying it. It just makes sense in my head to try and walk on two legs in some specific scenarios. And these scenarios are, of course, when you are not in the tree and you are walking around on the ground, and when you maybe have to reach something high up, maybe in a tree of some kind, and you don't want to crawl the tree, but you can just stand on two legs for a short period of time and you can just reach the fruit or whatever you want to catch, grab, pick, whatever. Some words that make sense to use in this sentence. But also another reason walking on two legs is also because we can kind of run faster on two legs than we can on all four. And that's what we need on the ground when we was starting to hunt animals. We need to run faster than the animals. So we actually evolved to run faster. And believe it or not, but this, what you are now in this time, in the historic period, is actually the peak of evolution, depending on how fast you can run. It's like we are more hairless than ever before. And the reason why I became hairless, now I'm jumping around again, but I have already spoiled it, so fuck it. The reason why we became hairless is actually because we run so much. And the one that runs the fastest didn't die because they didn't got catched by another animal, and also they get to catch the animal they hunted and therefore got something to eat and therefore didn't die of hunger. And the fastest running was also the most hairless one, and that's how evolution works. So when the most hairless are the ones that survive, then the genes go further in evolution and we became more and more hairless. So that is basically why we are kind of hairless today, but not quite hairless. Actually, kind of make no sense to have these scattered hair up all over the place, because I am mostly naked, or what you can call it here. I'm not mostly naked in real life. I have pants on, you have already seen that, so it doesn't even work as a joke. But like, it's only 20% hair or something, so most of it is just bare skin, you can see here. So it kind of makes no sense to even have hair, and that is one of my hairiest places. It's not my hairiest, but kind of more than average. It's like, this is much less hairy here. Here is like 1% hair. It doesn't really make sense. Why do we even have hair? Maybe it's just something from the old days that evolution hasn't killed yet, but there's actually no reason to have the hair. There's just also no reason to remove the hair. Therefore, we don't really evolve, because we don't evolve if we don't have a reason to. So maybe the superior human will actually be totally hairless, like for real all over the body. But because we don't need to be totally hairless, then we don't evolve to be it, and therefore we still have a little bit hair. Now it's totally my thinking if you're not sure about that, but that was I think what I believe makes the most sense. And I'm just really fascinated of my own right now, like how the hair is, how it's not, how there's so little hair but still so much. Again, it depends on how to see it, because I have little hair compared to ape. I have a little hair when you think about the is hair, so why is there so little? But also, like, why do we even have hair? We don't need it. So that's another you're thinking, okay, we lose all our hair because it makes us a better human, so we can run faster. So why did we have hair in the first place? Well, hair also have good things, of course. It makes you warm. So it's like this competition between evolutionary futures. Like, do you want to keep yourself warm, or do you want to run fast? And there's a good solution to that, because if you run fast, then you're becoming warm. So you just have to run all the time, and you can keep yourself warm. I don't know if that's a solution. However, of course, it was more important for us to get some meat and evolve, and get a bigger brain, and not die of hunger, and all of these things that was made possible by being hairless. So a little bit freezing sometime was not really a problem, until the Ice Age came. And again, just to clarify, the Ice Age are not an age after the Stone Age, but Ice Age is it's a state of the Earth. And actually, it's Ice Age is really complicated. I should actually make a video about Ice Age before I'm spoiling anything. But I could say that the next Ice Age is probably not so long away. Or maybe it is longer away than we think. However, Ice Age is a state of the Earth that we actually entered 3 times throughout the Stone Age. So we have the latest Ice Age that happened 15,000 BC, or it ended 15,000 BC. I'm not sure actually. Either it started or ended 15,000 BC. There's something about 15,000 BC at least. And of course, and that was the first Ice Age, and again we had 3. Well, that was the latest. So the first Ice Age, I don't remember when that happened, but that was way earlier in time. So that became a problem, because already in the first Ice Age we have to lose a lot of hair in our evolution, I believe. So we were of course freezing, but we made a solution to that. We invented clothes. So that's basically why we do this today. And imagine we didn't wear clothes before the Ice Age. But I'm like, I don't want to go outside right now. because it's pretty cold outside, especially now, mid-January, especially in Denmark, a very northern country. So I don't really want to go outside without clothes on. I barely want to go outside with my clothes on, and that's not this my clothes. It's like a hoodie and a jacket on top of this, 2 layers more, and I still don't want to go outside. So how could we go around naked back then? Well, a little spoiler to the Ice Age video maybe gonna do, but it's because it was way hotter back then. So when I say we invented clothes in the Ice Age, maybe it wasn't when there was fully ice all over the place and it was minus a lot of degrees, but maybe it was way before that. Maybe it was when we reached the temperature I have outside right now. I'm not sure exactly when we invented clothes. I'm not sure we even know it as a humankind. What the fuck am I saying? Whatever. I should actually try to research that a bit. I should try researching this for these videos, because most of the time I'm throwing out facts, but also sometimes there's something I actually don't know or remember or both or whatever. So yes, we invented clothes, and that's also why we probably lose the rest of our hair, because then we don't need hair at all, because we have the clothes to take on when we need it. And so that's how we get best of both worlds. We used most of our hair, became fast runners, we invented clothes, and didn't freeze to death. So I guess that was a clever way to fuck with evolution a bit. When we invented clothes was actually the first time we like manipulated the evolution of humans. Maybe even the only time, because that's not even a thing we do today. It's kind of something we do today with like vaccines and medicines, and also like some people becoming vegans and other unnatural things, where I'm not gonna hate on the vegans again in this video. It's just straight up facts that we find other ways to live that is very unnatural, and we find strange alternatives that we will not have eaten and stuff naturally if we didn't thought so much about things today and decided so much of our path in life upon feelings we have and things we think about, instead of just straight up logic and instincts like we did back in the day. So we're actually kind of manipulating with evolution. Like for example with vegans now, we're trying to evolve ourselves to becoming herbivores, which we are not and have never been, so it's kind of strange to try to becoming that. But that is forced evolution kind of, because it's not like the reason like most animals that have turned into herbivore or turned into carnivore or into omnivore. It's probably more normal to turn into omnivore, at least at some point in between these two states. Most of these animals have done it because they were forced to, if they should not die out. Like getting extinct, I'm talking about. So that made sense, but now we are not going extinct if we continue eating meat. It's just people don't want to. Think about, we are coming to a place in human history where people can just say, I don't want to do that, and then they just do it. Like we can choose so many things in our life now. We can kind of choose everything. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that you can choose what you eat, because you don't gonna die if you don't eat exactly like this. I'm just saying it's kind of strange, actually, when you compare it to back in the day and other animals. I kind of think about that we have the privilege to just say, I don't want to do that. It's a very first world problem actually to just say, I don't want to do that. It's kind of feel too privileged that we can just say that and get it like we want every single time. Because we never have to do something we don't want to anymore, apparently. However, back to how we moved, I guess, because I'm getting too much off topic here. Well, we started to walk more and more around the ground instead of trees, and we started walking on two legs more and more again. In a long period of time, we only did a little bit. In a long period of time, we did it like we used 50-50 walking forward, walking two legs. We use them simultaneously, or not, you cannot do that to be precise, but like we use them interchangeable. Fuck that. Some word that makes sense. I don't even know. I don't even mind anymore. So, and then at some point, we felt it superior to walk on two legs. I'm not even sure how long through history we have to go to reach that point. Maybe it's not even in the Stone Age. Maybe it's later than that. But I'm pretty sure evidence also shows that it looks like, at least, that we went fully over to walking on two legs in the Stone Age. And you can discuss what that means to went fully over, because I have just walked on four legs in this video. So if I say the last time a human walked on four legs was in the Stone Age, I will clearly lie, because I have just did it today. So clearly we do still walk on four legs today, apparently, but kind of only for fun, and when we have to reach our keys under the couch and wash the floor, and when we are like in bed, and well, that doesn't matter, but we still do it like sometimes, and that is again how it started, like walking on two legs. That was sometimes, but now we barely walk out of our homes and down the street on four legs. So we clearly mainly use our two legs and walk around. When we have to walk a long distance and don't have to do something particular down on the ground level, then we walk on two legs. So when did that start? The point where we mainly walk on two legs and only used four legs to some particular tasks. Well, that was probably in the Stone Age. But we probably still walk more on four legs than we do today. Because it was probably more tasks we could do back in the Stone Age, where we will feel feel more comfortable walking on four legs than two legs to do that particular task still. So it has probably been a very slow evolution up through the years in human history. Again, I think very little has happened after the Stone Age in that regard. I'm not saying that the 1700 and something they were walking on four legs more than we do today. It's probably kind of the same. So it was. I think you cannot say that anywhere else in history, you cannot point on a point in the timeline and say this was where we fully went on walking on two legs like we did today, because you cannot say that in in the year 100 or something. You cannot say that there we did it like we do today, because either we only did that recently, if we still evolved quite slowly to walk more and more on two legs, or else we did it back in the Stone Age and has been exactly same since, or with slightly difference, but so minor you can't really point it out. So it doesn't really make sense to talk about it later than that and try to pick up point in times later than that. It was in the Stone Age we evolved through all of the stages of walking on two legs, and it was there we probably did it just close enough to how we do it today. But when did we really start to walk on two legs and start to do it mainly well? We have Homo erectus, that means the upright standing human in Latin, or something close to that at least. So that is of course named after the fact that we discovered that Homo erectus was walking on two legs like us, Homo sapiens. But that was also a very early discovery, and many people have heard the name Homo erectus before. But we have actually discovered hominids after that lived before Homo erectus, so older ancestors that also walked on two legs. But none of them have done it in the same way as Homo erectus. Like, none of them have done it just as much as Homo erectus. But it was not Homo erectus that was the first one to kind of do it. And again, kind of all apes walk on two legs, as I have talked about in some regards. So the hominids in general was kind of not the first one to do it. But what I mean is like the first one to do it more than more other apes do it. And that was not Homo erectus either. But Homo erectus was kind of the first one to do it more than they walked on four legs. Like with Homo erectus, they were mainly walking on two legs, more than they walked on four legs. But I think it was still not as much as Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens did it even more than Homo erectus still, it seems like. But they're looking very close to us, and they're looking clearly standing on two legs. Can you even say that sentence? Oh yeah, I think you know what I mean. You can easily see when you see a picture or a drawing, you should actually call it animation, whatever, of a Homo erectus species, that it's clearly a species that walks on two legs. Also because all of the pictures are drawn with them upright standing. They never draw them like on all four. They do that with some of the older hominids. Homo erectus was, I don't remember, it was like 600 or 700 years ago, or not 600 or 700 years ago. Hopefully everyone knows Homo erectus there, that was hopefully died all of them. But like 600 or 700,000 years ago, we had the first Homo erectus. I believe was something around there. It was pretty close no matter what. And yeah, so at that point in time, we walked pretty much on two legs. But again, we have something before that, and even 9 million years ago, even the first apes coming down from the trees and like walked around on the ground, they already began to walk more on two legs than other apes that stayed in the trees did. So it have kind of been this smooth evolution since the early stages of humankind's history and ape evolution, whatever you should call it, humanids history. So it's hard to say where it began, like evolved. We have a new species coming out 7 million years ago, and that walked more on two legs than they were 9 million years ago. So it was this steady evolution. It was just more and more, and more human-like, the way they did it and the amount they did it and all these things. But yeah, that is mainly how we have walked through the history of the Stone Age, at least. Yeah, I guess I could actually end the video here and just say I have talked enough about it and I should not go more off topic today. However, of course, however, no, I'm never finished talking. I should actually see how long I have. Well. Only 35 minutes, that's fine. That's not much. It's the shortest video ever. But I'm not even remembering what to say, so I will just eat. Now we just hang out, we don't need to speak. Speaking of speaking, maybe I should make a video about the language. How we communicate. However, I'm not sure we even had a language back in the Stone Age. I think the closest to communication we have scientific proof of anyway is like the cave painting, so it will probably not be a video anyway. Maybe I can make it. Oh, I don't know. I think I got a chili in the throat. Maybe I can make a short video about it. I think about making some short videos about one single fact, just thrown out, and then stop the video, whatever, something shorter than this. Because maybe you don't wanna see me thinking an hour, maybe you just wanna see me thinking 3 minutes or something. But I will research upon the speak thing, and if I find enough evidence, I'll make a video about it. However, I forgot what to say again. I don't work anymore. There was something I want to say about these walking things. These walking things. It sounds like I'm talking about the humans. I kind of is, but I was more talking about the topic of walking. So yeah. Oh, it's not going good. I'm so stupid to do this right now. I could actually bring in the tools again and talking about how we walk with the tools in mind, because what happened when we started walking on 2 legs is also that we was able to carry a tool in our hand like carefully and without breaking it, without stepping on it and without loosening it. So it was quite clever too. And again, the start of us walking on 2 legs was of course not to take these long walls, because we could not hold our balance that good, so we could not take a lot of steps, so we mostly just stand up on 2 legs. And that was used a lot to use the tools. So we stand on 2 legs and then we use the tools, like hammering a stone. Not a hammer that good looking of course, but a stone. Hammering that against another stone or something. So that's quite clever too. The 2 legs standing was really helping us using our tools and develop the tools. So the reason why we started standing on 2 legs was probably because we have invented the stone as a tool. And because we started standing on 2 legs, then we developed the stone as a tool. So you can see how it all rolls. When we, like, I think the first real significant things we did as a human, or humanid should I say, because it was before humans, was to pick up a stone for the first time. And again, maybe we have done that millions of years before that as apes. Maybe every ape have picked up a stone. Many of the apes today do. But use the stone, pick up a stone and use it in a clever way, a more clever way than any other ape has done. When we use it in a superior clever way the first time, that was probably the most significant point in human history, because that's the reason we are here today. At least how we are today. Because again, because we picked up the stone, we needed to stand on 2 legs to make this clever operation we did. And because we stand on two legs and make this clever operation, we was able to make it even more clever. And because we made it even more clever, we needed even more to stand on two legs. And because we was getting so good at staying on two legs, we was able to make even clever operations. And then we have made so good sticks and so good sharp stones that we was thinking about combining these two, because we have made so superior tools now. And we have been so good at using our hands and have been so used to have our hands free that we was able to combine these two things. And then it just roll and roll like this. Everything we did leads to another thing we did. And eventually we have made computers and smartphones and slim cameras in superior quality, and AI, speakers, microphones, you can talk to stuff. Any of these things we have made today is because we picked up the stone. And because we made the hammer, the first ever tool. And now, a million years in development, pretty top of the line tool like we have today. That's amazing to think about, and to think about in that way. That's how I think about it, and I'm very good to think about things in this way. And I hope you're able to follow my thinking, and at least if you not already do it, then now when you have heard me thinking out loud about it, then I hope you are able to think in this way. I'm not saying you should think exactly like me, but I think this way is a good way to think about stuff. Not underestimate the Stone Age. Think about that we will not be here without the Stone Age. And then you will be better to appreciate simple stuff and advanced stuff. Because both of these tools will not be possible if we haven't done these things we did in the Stone Age, because it was the start. We cannot go straight to these tools. We have to go through the million years of development to get so far and get so good quality as we have today. And let that be the conclusion of the Stone Age edition of the Inside of My Head, with the specific topic of how we move. And again, I hope you learned something, if not about how we moved in the Stone Age, then about how you should maybe think about things, sometimes at least. You should not always think like this, but at least about some things in your life. I think it will be healthy for you to think a little bit like this. However, I hope you find it just mildly interesting at least some points in the video, or just got a good laugh or something. Just got something out of it. Else we'll probably not be here still now, so whatever. But if you really like the video, maybe you should subscribe for more videos. And for the next part of my Stone Age series, which will actually be, I have actually thought about it, but I have not written it down. I think I have just forgot what it was about, but I have thinking about what the next part should be. I think I totally forgot right now. Oh my god. Oh, it's hot. maybe it was something about the civilization, like the cities or what you can call it, the groups we lived in and how we evolved our way of grouping ourselves together. I'm not sure if it was something about that, if I can talk so much about that. Maybe I do a video about that, maybe I do a video about something else. However, you can also check out my other videos on my channel. I have a lot of videos, I'm not even sure, but there's a lot of things to pick from on my channel. For now at least, we have who I'm talking about. I don't know who are with me today, but I have videos about well, I have unboxing, I have tech reviews, I have travel vlogs, and I do always forget what I'm saying. And I should say something. Oh, I have gaming videos, of course. And probably other stuff, I don't remember. Whatever. Take a look, maybe there's something you like. There's a lot at least, so I hope something. Or else you must hate me, so whatever. Fuck that. But if you really like this video, then you can like it. Yeah. Well, you can do that. I should not tell you, you know it. So why not? Do it, just do it. I guess I'll see you next time. Bye bye.